Hello and welcome. Today is the 5th day of January 2017. Welcome to the Silver Charts channel. My name is Derek, and let's take a look at silver on the daily time frame, which has an intraday high thus far in at around 16 and 3/4, which, as I was stating yesterday, the lower end of the number that I'd like to see it go to. And I would really like to see it even go closer to 17, because I'm looking for established resistance above this 18 average band, and I'm looking for what passes the eye test for a significant move above this band. And I don't know if it would qualify quite yet, but I do know 17 would. It's almost like saying, does this qualify? Oh, it's close. I'm looking for something like a clear break. It like this, for example, is a clear break above it. And of course, that resistance was never tested, as we can see in here, but that's what I'm looking for. Clear resistance, a move back, and then the test. And then on the break above, because if it doesn't get there, then of course the buying opportunity or the situation never occurs. So that is one of the things that I'm looking for. It's an obvious failed breakout now that it's gone this high. If this thing starts to roll over, and the more fast this thing would break down, if it does get back within this range and even below, should be pretty incredible to say the least. And that's again on the if situation, because you have to think it's a underdog for that situation to occur, where this will be the failed move and then a break below here, rather than at least a test towards these higher levels or going sideways, either or kind of deal. So that's basically what I'm looking for, is a move up to the 17 level. The next key resistance high is in here. So therefore, when I look at the highs and lows, right now this high is here. So if it happens to get above here without much of a correctionary move, then it would make a pattern of lower high, lower high, lower high, higher high. Maybe matching high is another one, because you can even make a case for a possible inverted head and shoulders pattern forming. For that to be the case, and it's got a long ways to go for such, it's got to make a move up to this high with really not much of a pullback along the way. Then it's got to pull back down, even down to here in this range point here, and then come back. You'd have this inverted head and shoulders pattern, but it's really early to start talking about that. You're looking for what is needed within the bullish reversals, or bearish reversals to become bullish, that is. And when you see even just in here, you have this nice green candle, yesterday's sideways move, and then today's lows being the open, making a new high within this short-term period. That's a relatively bullish step. It's like baby steps along the way. And you talk about, okay, it's been 4 weeks with price action closing every day under 17, and it's been years now with price action closing below 25, and it's been decades now since the first time it broke 40, and it's almost like baby steps in getting back. But a lot of it is baby steps as far as informing people just the basics among stuff like fiat currency and precious metals and stuff like that. And I use the example and such. Okay, so you put $500, or all currency that's deposited in your bank is actually not yours, in that you lend it to them. Then on the accounting books, it's an accounts payable for them, an accounts receivable for you. They even allow you, they'll pay you back anytime you want, with some exceptions. You just have to go to their bank machines or maybe to the teller, but they might limit you to like $500 a day or so much a week or month. Those kinds of things come within the transaction of the loans. So different things people, of course, are unaware with. And then this would be a number I'd be interested in. One, in how many people own gold and silver. And you'd have to say for every 1 ounce of gold, you count like whatever amounts is of silver. But how, even on today's value, $1,000, or even say even something small, but not that tiny, like 50 ounces of silver is kind of small, but at least you got something. So 50 ounces of silver or 1 ounce of gold, anything in that ratio. So how many people today in North America, Europe, Australia, those sort of nations would have at least that much in precious metals, physical precious metals, and they're easily available to get possession. And would that number be 1 in 50, actually? Would it be 1 in 100, 1 in 20? And then what would that number have been in, say, 2006 and 2005 and 1985? And I find that to be very interesting because I know that in 1995 and 2006, not many people had physical gold and silver and that kind of possession. What you had in jewelry was good, but usually nothing of decent proportions, and a lot of it is stuff that you cannot class as investment class for yourself anyway. So I do think that is where the baby steps comes in informing people on just how the monetary model comes into play. Now, how that is done, you know what, I don't know. I'm doing the best I can on here, and most of the people watching this pretty much know or are somewhat understanding of what I'm saying, which is really, really cool. And there's more and more people within this last 10 years that have, including myself, that have been like, wow, this is how all of this plays out. And in the next 10 years, how many more is that going to be? And I have to think that that number that you need for the breaking point is happening within that 10 years. And that's, again, my opinion, and I'm just stating it on the channel. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Take care.